Welcome to another live stream. Let me know if it sounds good, if you can see well, and welcome to another Tuesday night live stream. What in the world are we doing these days? Moving the clocks around? Man, it threw me off. Maybe it's just my age. I don't know. But welcome tonight. We will say hi in the chat here in a minute, but as always, I am Keith. This is Live Journey Production Studios, and we have some good conversation tonight. I have a story to tell. You saw the still image, I hope. We're going to talk about daylight savings time and what it means. We're going to talk about Rode's official announcement yesterday and all the people that got product to do videos. Not me, I wasn't picked. But anyway, I didn't have time to do any more videos. I've been very, very, very busy in the studio for the last 2 weeks and posted 2 videos. Both are in the 35 to 40 minute range, and it takes absolutely forever to edit those videos. So I'm actually glad to be having a break and that I wasn't a part of the big announcement that Rode just gave out on the RodeCaster Video Core. And we're going to talk about that. I have some links in the description. If you want to see some people that had that device in their hands and did video and released them yesterday, if you haven't watched it yet, it's going to answer some questions about pricing. So quite interesting journey that we've been on. So let me put chat on the air. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try that again. There we go. So please take a moment to let us know where you are from in the world if you haven't already. And there's a poll already up on the chat. So I will hope that you'll answer that question. Question simply is, if you could turn back time, would you? ? And if yes, what point in time? So Tony already put a point in time in the chat. I'm going to tell you a story tonight of a time that I would pick, not too recent, it might surprise you. But we're going to talk about that later. I have a little segment planned tonight, turn back time, so that should be fun, something I haven't done here before, so that should be fun. So 5 of you have voted on the poll. If you could turn back time, would you? If yes, what point in time? So 40% of you said yes, 80% of you said no. So that's about 2 out of 5. So please put the point in time in the chat tonight. If you want to give any details, you only have so much space, but I would love to hear what point in time that you would pick. So let's just go through here. Grish, good to have you here from Spokane. Tony was in earlier and he put his answer here. He says, I would go back being between 40 and 45. Perfect combo of having life, wisdom, and body that still works. So Tony, he'll be back in the second hour, but that's Tony's answer. And now he didn't pick a period of time, but he picked an age in time. And so again, no bonus points for getting the answer perfectly right, because I didn't give you enough specificness in the text or in the stream tonight. And then he said, see you in a couple hours. And let's see what else we have here. Stop and Think. Hank is in the live stream tonight. He says, that's a loaded question. And I can totally relate to that. Would we retain what we know today? If not, would probably make the same mistakes all over again. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you guys can kind of spin it the way you want to, but I mean, I know you want my idea. So I would think that you would retain the wisdom because the way I thought about this, let's pop the still image up there. So, what if we could turn back time? So the idea is if you could just go back in time to a place with everything you have now, all the wisdom, all the knowledge, all the resources. Obviously, you're not going to take, you're going to go, but you're not going to be able to take those things with you. I guess I should have specified all this stuff, but I get it. But the idea is we just went through this crazy daylight savings thing again. So you're cruising along through wintertime. It depends on what part of the country. I mean, we have people that have tuned in from Australia and from Europe and all over the United States. We East Coast, West Coast, Southern United States, Canada, all over. And so with that said, South America, Central America, we've had people here on the live stream. So obviously weather is going to change everywhere you go, but we've been cruising through the winter months, and then suddenly, like in March, right, the calendar flips over. We're all thinking, okay, springtime is getting close. January, February is over. December, November, those could be really cold months up where I live, and it could be extended up where I used to live. But I guess my point is, if there is a point in time that you could go back, maybe and do something differently, or maybe just a time that you just enjoyed. Now, I'm not saying stay there. I mean, I guess if you want to go back in time and stay there, but with this crazy thing called daylight savings time, which whatever this is, and we're going to read something here in a minute after I get done saying hi. But with that whole thing, you know, you turn the clocks, spring forward, right, fall back. And so we spring the clocks forward so we lose an hour in the springtime. So you're looking at your clock, it's 9:30, you normally head to bed 10:30, and you look at your spouse like I did, and I go, hey, Shannon, it's almost midnight, and my wife likes to have 9 hours of sleep. It is too late for her to have 9 hours of sleep. It is Saturday night. We usually get up pretty early on Sunday morning. And so I was just letting her know that this whole daylight saving thing has just messed things up. And then obviously your body doesn't know the clocks have been changed. In fact, we spent most of the day Sunday with our big clock in our living room, the one that we can see when we're sitting out there relaxing. It was wrong. And so it would continue to throw your mind off. So then you got to go through. This one got changed a few hours ago. So see, this is what I'm talking about. This thing keeps time for me in the studio. And so I can look up and go, okay, it's time to take a break, or it's time to go for my walk, or I really have been in here editing video for 3 hours. And so even this didn't get changed till today. So as I was looking at it today, it dawned on me, I don't have 2.5 hours before my live stream starts. I have 40 minutes before my live stream starts, because that's when I changed my clock. I had 40 minutes left. Let's see if we can get this back up there without knocking you guys off the wall. Come on. Finally. So, and I don't get on a soapbox very often, so I apologize. Usually it's Ratso under my desk, and today it's a soapbox, but maybe it's because I'm 60, almost 65 years old, and changing the giant, I mean, the big clock is a 2-person clock to change. And then this clock, and, you know, then you don't know when, is it middle of the night that the phone changes? Because I was up until at least 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't sure if it was 1 or 2 o'clock because my clock hadn't changed yet. So daylight savings time, what did we do? We spring forward. So we went forward in time an hour, and then we all adjust to it with exception of a couple. There's in Arizona, there's an Indian tribe that doesn't change their clock. I think Hawaii doesn't change their clock. So that's the United States. And then we'll read a little bit more about that here in a minute. So I'm going to continue saying hi. So Keith, by the way, I believe you are now back on Pacific Standard Time. Pacific Standard Time. I don't know what it is, Hank. So, but my still image says we're on Pacific Daylight Time. So confused. Hello from Mexico. It's good to have you, Kevin. Thank you so much for joining me. K9, it's good to have you. Sean, from the beautiful flatlands of Tennessee, I believe. Kansas City, Paris, sorry. Kentucky, sorry, I'll get it right eventually. On the farm. So K9 says November 5th, 1955. Okay, you're going to have to give us some specifics. Anyone seen the original Twilight Zone called Clifford Dale? Check it out. Good morning, David from, what is going on here? Are these not been popping up? Let me go back through them here again. That was from Hank earlier. Hank, you can retain all your wisdom and knowledge. There's the Pacific Time comment. Good to have you, Kevin, from New Mexico. I have an uncle that lives in New Mexico. My uncle Eddie Lunsford lives in New Mexico. Had to leave my own live stream to be here, but hello, thank you. Let's see. November 5th, 1955. We're going to need some specifics. Good morning, David from Down Under. I saw your video today. What a sweet tribute. I think it was a tribute to your wife. So if you guys haven't checked out David's video, let me put a link in the description. I'm pretty sure that's what you're doing. I don't know how intuitive I am, but I feel like I'm a little. Check. We go to YouTube. I'm gonna put David's video link in the channel. By the way, as I'm looking for this, if you have a favorite YouTuber that you've already watched a video on the RodeCaster Video Core, and it's not Photo Joseph and Aaron Parecki, I'd love to have the name in the chat tonight. Why can't I find the link here? Yeah, it's not coming up over here, David. Anyway, it's a great video tribute to his wife, and I really enjoyed it. It made me be thankful for Shannon and what she means to me. And I know we just kind of blasted through Valentine's Day, so videos like that make a lot of sense, and I think they're appropriate. I'm just looking to see if it's in my, yeah, here it is. So let me get through the commercial here. Advertisement. Copy link. I'm going to email it to myself because I want to put it in here. There we go. Thank you for your patience. Please stand by. I just feel like this is worth sharing here. I'm going to cut out the tracking stuff out of this link. So just copy that link and go check it out later. Give a shout out to David. That was a beautiful video. So good morning to you. I would be, let's see. I would be like to be being back to my birth. It's my birthday today, and that would be an interesting back to the future. Well, happy birthday. Appreciate you sharing that with us. And if that's where you want to go back to, that's great. So the picture doesn't really let us know who you are. So, but again, from Germany, I remember that. Toto, I think, is the right name. TVJ, it's great to have you. Been enjoying your live streams, even though a lot of the tech is over my head. But H2R was fun. Watching you discover some of the things that it can do, that was really cool. H2R graphics. So Sean says, November 5th, 1955 from Back to the Future. Wow. Love the movie reference. Yeah, B&H Photo had a great video. I watched that as well. In fact, that's actually the first video that I watched on the RodeCaster Video Core, and we are going to talk about that here in a minute. It was the first time I've written a song and recorded for ages. Wow. So there's a recorded song on that as well. So anyway, David, class act, just want to give you a shout out here, just because I can and people are listening, and it just means more when you say it, when you have a crowd of people. I used the Fender Studio One. Wow, cool. Those of you that don't know, we did a video here, live stream a few weeks back on how Fender has purchased PreSonus, and now they've changed Studio One to Fender Studio Pro, I believe. And David's calling it Fender Studio One. Toto, happy birthday. Well, we all chime in. Thank you for doing that, Kevin. Sounds like you're from the Philippines. That is so cool. If I could pick a time, I would go back to 1960 when I was with ABC Network Television, involved in national television broadcasting, interacting with celebrities. I will be 90 in July. Wow. Hank, make sure you let me know again in June that your birthday is coming up. So we can have a little bit of a celebration in whatever live streams around that. That is a big, big, big date. And so congratulations. I am so glad, Hank, you're still with us. And I've had a chance to be face-to-face with Hank a few times, and it's great to hear the stories about Batman, the 1966 one. Okay, so I think we've said hi to everybody. So let's do this. So first of all, I want to talk about, let's do this again because I had to reboot my computer. I rebooted my computer and it had this great thing that the AI said, and that's why I'm delayed here. I'm actually a little disappointed right now. It's not popping back up. But we'll go into Wikipedia here, only because I can't find what the AI said. But daylight savings and summertime, redirect here. Daylight savings time, also referred to as daylight savings time, daylight time, United States and Canada, or summertime, United Kingdom, European Union, and others. It's the practice of advanced clocks to, in theory, make better use of the longer daylight available during summer, so that darkness falls at a later clock time. Although throughout its existence, the practice is drawn numerous and starkly opposing opinions, the typical implementation of DST is to adjust clocks ahead of standard time by an hour in spring or late winter, and then to set the clocks back by 1 hour in autumn or fall in North America, English, hence the mnemonic, spring forward and fall back. In many countries, the part of the year with DST is observed is much longer than the part aligned to standard time. The practice of this daylight savings time was first tested and widely adopted in the early 20th century, since which many countries have abandoned daylight savings time, particularly or entirely. As of 2023, around 34% of the world's countries use daylight savings time, primarily in Europe and North America, with some countries observing it only in some regions. 9 of 10 provinces and 2 of the 3 territories in Canada observe daylight savings time, with some regional exceptions. It is observed by 4 Australian states and 1 territory in the United States, and it's observed everywhere except the states of Hawaii and Arizona. Within the latter, however, the Navajo Nation does observe it, and the territories of the U.S. So historically, there is no evidence that ancient societies adopted seasonal change to their timekeeping to make better use of daylight. However, these were changes to time divisions of the day rather than settings of the whole clock forward. Anyway, so it goes on and on and on. So why in the world am I taking time out of a live stream on tech? I'm talking about daylight savings time. Everything that we do, it seems like in life, has time involved. So you get up maybe 2 o'clock, or you have your watch clock, you have an appointment, you have a certain amount of hours that you work. There's a time period in the United States where you have to sign up for Medicare, Medicaid. I know because I just got the flyers because I'm going to turn 65 in June, and you have to do it. And so there are times for your taxes, a certain time, I think April 14th, 15th on our calendar here in the United States. So you got to get all that stuff done. There's dates on the calendar for our birthdays. So there's not only just times, there's dates. And obviously a day begins and a day ends at a certain time. And then inside days, right, there is light and darkness. And I was just watching a really cool Disney, what is it, National Geographic thing, where Will Smith, the famous actor who had a very bad experience, or went through a very bad experience, did a documentary with Disney, really looking at going from pole to pole. So he visited places from Antarctica, literally was in Antarctica and in the North Pole. So South Pole and North Pole. And in the South Pole, there's actually now a pole that you can touch. So, and when he left the Antarctica, everywhere he goes from that pole is north, which was funny. And when they went to the North Pole, there's literally some of the glacier was melting around the North Pole. So in reality, it wasn't like frozen tundra. There was spots that you could actually see through the ice. And so whatever's happening up there, if that's the time of year. I don't know when they shot the documentary, but anyway, it was really cool. So everything about that, they were going through different time zones. And so in reality, daylight savings times is just one of those weird things that many of us experience, and it changes the time of my live stream. So, because again, spring forward. So what would have been 3 o'clock last week is now 4 o'clock this week. And so those of you that did not change your time in the different places that you're watching me, you had to come earlier to tonight's live stream. So I thought if the world, parts of the world are going to do this little ditty, right? They're going to go ahead and change the clocks on us. I thought, wow, what if, you know, we could go back in time. So if you could turn back time, and there's a Cher song, I can't play it because I'd get flagged, and I don't want to get fined and flagged. But what if we could turn back time? So I have a story to tell. I'm going to get it off my chest. I've been sitting on this for a few weeks. Many of you know that I got reached out by one of a couple of manufacturers over the years. One of them, called YOLO Live, reached out to me. And when they reached out to me, it was the department that makes the webcams. So the Tiny 2, Tiny 4K, Tiny 2, they have 4, I think. Tiny 3, which was not announced. In the email, they told me that they have a new version of the Tiny coming out. Would I like to look at it, unbox it? I said, I'm not sure. I don't have any of those cameras. I've been using the Insta360 Link version 1. I had Link version 2, which is behind me as Skycam. This is version 3. And so I agreed after some conversations back and forth, and actually it was released. I watched some videos, I got interested in it, and I decided to go ahead and have them send me that camera. Well, I also said I would really like to get my hands on the YOLO Box Extreme. And so my contact for the YOLO Cam, I apologize. Let me get this right. I have the YOLO Cam tonight as an over camera. So the YOLO Cam S3, that department reached out to me. And so I said yes. Everybody was impressed with the camera on my channel. And then I asked if there was any way that I could get my hands on the YOLO Live YOLO Box Extreme, which is 8 inputs. It's got like 5 NDI sources. If you live stream from it, you can bring in up to 5 guests. It can usually ingest most of the webcams that I've plugged into it, which isn't true about the RodeCaster Video. We're going to be talking about the RodeCaster Video Core here shortly, because I'm not going to spend a lot of time telling you guys this story. So I had been shooting some footage since January, end of January. I got the YOLO box. I learned it. I spent some time. I brought it on the channel. I put it in a weird Christmas box, and we unboxed it right here live, so you guys wouldn't know what it was. And then I started shooting my video. I got all of my video footage that I wanted to do pretty well shot. I was editing away, pretty much got my video about 98% done. And this is going to be a video like my ATEM getting started video. This is going to be a video like my HyperDeck series, like my ATEM Extreme ISO series. So lots of work, lots of time, lots of energy, lots of edits, arrows flying around, boxes, to really help people better understand what that device will do, how to use it. And really, there was too many features in that YOLO box for me to even cover. So I had it on my desk. I got a little stand for it, like a laptop stand, so I could set it on my desk. And I was using the YOLO Cam S3 over top of it. And I'm going to pull this down right now because it's magnetic. It's got a magnet on it, and then it has a bracket. And so this magnetically is up in the air, and it's not light. This is not a light camera. It's pretty dirty right now. Gonna clean it. Rabbit trail. So I was getting it ready on a Tuesday afternoon about 2 weeks ago because I had something new to show you guys on the Extreme. There had been some updates. I had discovered some things, and I just thought, you know, I'll bring it on. I wasn't going to promote it, wasn't going to put it in my still image. I was going to bring it on live. It's about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I wanted to show it and then my RodeCaster video next to it on my desk. And so I was adjusting this camera on my mount, like I have it above my RodeCaster video, and guess what? This little thing fell off, and I heard it fall off. I turned my back, and I must have bumped the cable because it's hooked up to an SD or a USB-C cable, and it fell off, and I remember it kind of heard it hit something on my desk, and then it fell to the ground. And so I picked it up, I put it back up, and about 15 or 20 minutes later, I was getting ready to turn everything on in my studio, and I didn't have the YOLO box on, I didn't have my RodeCaster video on, didn't have my ATEMs on. I'd been editing my YOLO Live, YOLO Box Extreme video. And so I reached over to push the button on the Extreme. Now, they loaned this device to me, so I can't afford it. It's not in my budget right now. So I'm supposed to do some videos. There's no commitment for me to keep it. There's this kind of conversation back and forth that if I do a bunch of videos and if I kick my heels together just right and say there's no place like YOLO Box Extreme at Keith's house, there's no place, then somehow, mysteriously, I might get one. Who knows? But 98%, they're going to pay for postage after I do my videos for it to go back. So I go to turn that on, and all I can tell you is I look over and I look down on my desk right here, and this sucker is flickering. Not only is it flickering, there is a giant crack on the front screen of the YOLO Box Extreme. Now, this is hours later. I look like I'm in my right mind. But it was like 1,000 volts of electricity went through my body when I realized that I had let the YOLOcam S3 come down and crack the touchscreen of the Extreme. That's the last time that device turned on. Now, I know we're not close enough, so let me go to the full screen camera. Let me look you right in the eye and tell you, I didn't know what to do. All I could think of is $2,000, I'm responsible, it's broken, what in the world just happened to me? So about an hour later, Shannon and I are both working. It's Tuesday, she has clients. I can hear her come downstairs between clients, so I called her name. She came back, and what she describes last night when we were talking about this, she says, yeah, I could tell immediately by the look on your face, something wasn't right. So if I could turn back time, it would be to 2.5 weeks ago or so, and I would have a industrial strength screensaver. I would have a cage. I would have 4 bodyguards standing on the right and the left of the YOLO Box Extreme, because within seconds, I went from steward of something that I was getting ready to send back within a couple days to destroyer of a YOLO Box Extreme. In fact, yeah, I am the guy who crunched a $2,000 YOLO box. And if it isn't sad enough, if you own it, it's even worse feeling for me when you don't. Anyway, so that's when I'm turning my clock back to. And the weird thing is, how did I save that macro with changing that from multi-view to this camera? So that's my segment. I'm not just asking you guys, when would you turn the clocks back to? There's two things that came to my mind today. One would have been back in 1998 or so when I made a bad decision. I'd like to go back and change that decision. But recently, that's when I would go back in time. So I'm in conversations right now with YOLO Live. I can just say this, there's a box coming today with another one in it. I have shipped the broken one across the United States of America to a return location. And no, I don't own the first one, broken one yet. I haven't seen the repair bill, and I don't own the new one coming yet. And I share that story just because a couple weeks ago when I was live, that was weighing on me the whole time I was live, but I wasn't gonna let it stop us getting together, and I wasn't gonna live back there, and I knew there was nothing I could do to change it. But I tried everything, and that sucker would not come on. And that's all I have to say about that. If you guys have any questions, I could totally understand. I've dropped this bomb on you, and I'm fully aware you may have a comment. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. I will say thank you for joining me. Long Island, New York City. Love to get your name in the chat as well. DJ Play Productions. Joe has joined us. Thank you. You're looking beautiful too, Joe. Let's see. Yeah, I did see this, David, that Aaron hinted about support. So Joe says, oh, good to see you, Doug. Just to say hi. Joe says, don't sweat it. It must happen all the time. They probably can replace the screen when you send it back. Okay, thank you. I wish you're here. I got Joe here. He's got his hand on my shoulder, and he's in my studio, and he's saying, Keith, don't sweat it. Yeah, okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. As you can see, it's not quite getting through my outer defenses, Joe. Okay, but I appreciate the sentiment so much. That's good to know. You have effectively shown what is now required for YOLO to change in their product. This is the iPad syndrome. Laugh out loud. I don't know what kind of, Glenn, and welcome, by the way. I don't think I said hello. I don't know what kind of syndrome it is, but I can tell you this. And for those of you who've watched me, you know I have lots of adjectives. There's certain adjectives I don't use on my channel, and rarely do I use them ever, but it sucked. So, isn't that what a product review is all about, the good and the bad? Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's not in my video. I didn't shoot that, nor could I shoot it. And if I had shot it, it wouldn't have been through the YOLO box or through my ATEM. And to be honest with you, after I broke it, I just wanted to put it back in the box, put the lid on the box, because I figured if I had it any longer in my studio, it would be in 4 pieces, not just with a busted glass. And just so you guys can fully, where is my mouse? Fully experience my pain. Here's picture 1, full screen, so you can see that crack. And Then I think this is another angle upside down. Yeah, it's basically the same picture, but so yeah, you can see that's a nice crack. And not only did I crack it, I shut that sucker down. So whatever I did, it would turn on, and I had to leave it on until the battery died. And I reached out to them. I sent the pictures of it, and they were very gracious. To be honest with you, this is the point where I look at the camera and I just say, my experience with YOLO Live during this process with the YOLOcam S3, and I haven't had any experiences like this. I've literally said yes now to 3 products. 2 from YOLO Live, 1 from Insta360, right? Oh, and Osbot Tiny 3. So 3 manufacturers, 4 products. And my experience with YOLO Live has been one of the best, if not the best, out of all 3. And the reason I say that is that I never felt like chastised for it. I never felt like, I mean, I'm really hard on myself, but I didn't feel any of that coming from them. And you may say, well, obviously they wouldn't want you to say anything on camera. I wouldn't have. If they had been truly rude to me or hadn't treated me right, I just would have been silent about it. I have to say something because they were great. The person I'm dealing with has been great. Not to say that Osbot hasn't, and not to say that Insta360 hasn't, because they've been great. But no, after this experience with what I felt, they've been great. And so, and you know, those of you that have done this before, you have more experience getting products from manufacturers. I know Tony has, and he'll be here in a second hour. I know Joe, you have, and many of you have had products in your studios. So, but I never thought about a $2,000 item that wasn't gifted to me that I could potentially do damage to, because I was really careful every day. Never even considered that YOLO Cam S3 falling off of the mount. And it really only fell about 1.5 feet because I had it pretty close. I think I had it right about here going down on the yo, probably more about right here. And it fell from right here and bounced off of that corner. So let's put this back up because I am going to use this tonight. Oh. Don't you dare fall on anything or I'll smack you. Yes, I said that live. I'm back on the S7B microphone. So, okay. So I am really curious if anybody else would like to share where you would go back in time. So let me just catch back up here. Which was worse, the ankle or the YOLO box? Well, that's a great question, because the other thing I was thinking about this week, actually for 2 weeks, like last year, I mean, my surgery was a year ago Friday. So when Thursday rolled around, I realized that I was having surgery the next day, a year earlier. And so I'm 1 year after my surgery. Those of you who don't know, I cracked my ankle. I pretty well severed my foot. So my foot was just hanging there. I broke both sides of my ankle bone. When you get down to that part of your ankle, there's 2 bones, and I broke both of them. Both of them had to be put back together again. The inside part of my ankle was 2 pins about that long. And the other side is plate on both sides screwed together. So, and I think there's a couple pins or a couple screws in there as well that aren't in the plate. And so, and I was just walking my granddaughter. My son needed help. I picked up my granddaughter and my son. I dropped them off at a meeting. Meeting was 15 minutes, took her to a playground. She thought the swings were too tall, so we thought we'd walk down to the riverfront and throw some rocks in the water. It's late February, so I was going to be really careful because it was pretty steep. So we kind of worked our way down. The grass looked pretty dry. And then right when the grass ends, there's about a 6-inch kind of washed out drop. And then there's sand, and the sand is pretty level. It goes down probably, I don't know, 6-7 inches from the top of where the sand is down to the waterfront, maybe a foot. And I stepped on what I thought was some dry leaves with my left leg, and under the leaves was mud, and I flew down, falling over the hill, landing on my right ankle, and I heard it crack twice. So that was a bad day, and that is not the 2 dates I picked for our little segments back in time. So I would go back here and not break this sucker because I really felt 100% responsible and wanted to be a good steward. It's just how Shannon and I are wired. If we borrow anything for anybody, it goes back to them cleaner. If we rent a house, we clean it better than it was there. We want to leave things better when we've been there and left than they were when we got there. So with that in mind, that would be the main time that I would go back in time to. But what about you? Put in the chat tonight, is there a time or a story? And if you don't want to put it in the chat, message me later in the video. But I'd love to hear, if you were me sitting here, oh, sorry, hit that stinger, perfect timing. If you were here and you were in this window and you were talking about when you would turn the time back to, when would you turn the time back to? And if I had you on camera, what would your story be? Out of curiosity, I'd love to hear them. Besides, it's going to make me feel better. What is going on? Me and a logo, it changes to that? No. Huh. Okay. Let me catch up here in the chat, and then I promise you, we will move on. I am officially off my soapbox and let you guys throw me back on it again. Okay, I want to go back up here and catch up before I got the responses. Kevin is moving to the Philippines as a dream, or moving to the Philippines as a dream. Just started the channel earlier. Never been yet. Within a year, I hope to be there. Okay. Moving to the Philippines is the dream. Just started the channel early. Okay, cool. Well, keep us posted. I'd love to find out when that trip takes place. It would be a great idea to include 3D printing in the program. For example, I printed the Blackmagic design media dock with 4 SD card slots for a 19-inch rack, and it worked perfectly. I'd love to know what 3D printer you have. I am thinking about getting a 3D printer. I watched Tom Buck's videos. I figure if Tom Buck can get away with it, and I really do think he's got some flack from some of the people on his channel because he wrote about it. He's got a blog about it. And he's very gracious. He's a great human. But he's been doing some videos on the Bamboo 3D printer that he got. And then he just had one sent to him, like a $3,000 printer from Bamboo. And he just did a video on it. So now he's got 2 of them. You know, if he's not careful, they will keep sending him printers, and they'd love to take his channel towards 3D printing. I'm not going to let anybody take my channel anywhere. You can quote me. There are many things in the 3D printing universe that can be printed more cheaply. Yeah, we're talking about cages for the YOLO Box Extreme, and I totally get where you're coming from. For worldwide circulation, you could announce your programming as Greenwich Mean Time, which everyone would worldwide would be the same. That's kind of funny. Hank. Also says a lot about the YOLO camera mount. Was that the third-party camera mount, or was it, you know, it's their mount. And I guess we'll address the elephant in the room. I mean, when you're putting it on things, right, it's got a screw hole. And that sucker just landed on my phone. So let me just say, be very careful if you get one of these. So it's got a magnet on this side, and my hands are slick. I put lotion on it. And it's got a magnet on this side because you can do portrait or landscape. And it magnetizes on. But when you're putting things and you're adjusting it and you're turning it, you're torquing the magnet, and that's what I did. And if you torque it far enough, the weight of it's going to pull it off. And so be very careful. This is a very heavy camera. I would say next to the Insta360 Link 2 Pro, this is probably 30% heavier than this, approximately. So this has a magnet. In all fairness, so does Insta360 Link, right? So does Osbot Tiny 3. Everybody's going to these, and I always have to be careful when I say everybody because it's usually never true, but a lot of webcam designers are going to these magnets, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I would just put, the good news is this has a magnet side of it with a little mark, and then again, you can magnetize it this way. And it seems just as sturdy. And then it's got this piece that turns, so does the yellow, or the Insta360 Link 2 Pro, Insta360 Link 2, but this turns out so you can go down on your desk. But again, this is dangerous. I mean, it really is. So, elephant, yes or no? You guys can hear me grunt and groan. Back on. Okay. So, in my journeys, I have been talking about with you guys. How do I want to do this? Let's go like this. Me and my laptop, and then let's do this. Let's turn the key off. Let's go to Super Source, make box 2. My media player 1, so it's going to have my logo in it. That's going away here momentarily. I don't know why those are white. They should be PNGs, but it makes no sense to me. That's the core. The RodeCaster Video Core is a non-button RodeCaster Video S, basically, with 2 exceptions, right? No buttons, but it does have a knob on the front, and it does have a USB-C port on the front. And if you watch Aaron Precky's video, which is in the links below, you can actually see him use the front port. It's funny because when people were talking about that device, when it got leaked at CES 2026 in January, and I think it was Las Vegas. It wasn't really a leak. They had a display. And and I only found 2 videos on YouTube about it. One was a short, but about the time that this got announced, everything went wackadoodle with their pricing. So here's why. I believe, here's the answer. I just wanted to address it right away tonight before we hit the 5 o'clock hour, is that they needed to put a division between the Core, the RodeCaster Video S, and the RodeCaster Video. Now, right now, you can get a RodeCaster Video for $817 at B&H, and I have a link to Amazon in the description below. But this is crazy that that they've changed the pricing and things have gotten so drastic like this. Sorry, I ruined my super source I just made by hitting my macro. But you can see $599 for the RodeCaster Video Core. We're going to talk about it tonight. RodeCaster Video S, which has the same amount of inputs, the same amount of pretty much everything except for one extra USB-C port in the front for the RodeCaster Video Core. And then the RodeCaster Video S goes up to $799, which is what they changed it to about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and everybody was wondering. And then you could buy that cheaper version for some reason right now of the regular RodeCaster Video. Again, like right now, B&H, there is one for, it's right there. It's one for $817. I have an Amazon associate link. I appreciate you use that if you buy a RodeCaster Video S. A RodeCaster Video. This is not the S. This is a RodeCaster Video. This is the one that I would recommend if you could afford it. There's a number of reasons why. I'll be happy to get into those tonight if you would like to know. But they wanted to make a distance, obviously, in the pricing, and they did. So now you have $599, you go up $200, and you have $799. And these really are more affordable because, you know, anything that's under $800 is way more affordable than you get up to the $1,200 price range. I don't know why you can buy it for over $500 cheaper from B&H right now. It makes no sense whatsoever. But that is what they are advertising. This is from their page. I clipped this from Rode's site. And so for whatever it's worth, the pricing has changed. And here we are. So let's look at this. So RodeCaster has officially now announced and priced and $599. You can pre-order the RodeCaster Video Core. Now, this is pretty much designed to get it off of your desk. So if you don't want the device on your desk, you can use the RodeCaster Video Softwarr. I'm going to open it here in a minute and show it to you. But you can use the software and you could do your whole show from the software. You can also use the RodeCaster Pro 2 and the RodeCaster Pro Duo, and you can use that as well as you can access in the RodeCaster Video Softwarr. It's not called that, but we'll look at it. In the RodeCaster Softwarr, you can access all those channels as well. There's no LCD screen on this. Let's take a look. That's the front. You can see the port 5, and then you can see 2 little lights there for headphone 1, headphone 2, because there are 2 headphone inputs. We'll look at the back here in a minute. And the knob lights up and probably lets you know what the volume is. I don't have one, but I'm sure that this lets you know what the volume is on the 2 headphones. You push it once, you'll get headphone 1. You push it twice, you'll push it again, and then you'll get headphone 2, and then you can control the volume. Then on the back, and let's zoom into this. Can we zoom into this more? There we go. So on the back, you have a power button. Then next to that, a power button to turn it on and off. And these are kind of, you push it, hold it for a couple seconds, and then it comes up saying you want to shut it off. There's no LCD screen on this, so I don't know how that's going to work. But it's the same kind of button that's on the back of the RodeCaster Video S. In fact, the back looks almost identical with the exception of kind of the shape. And then next to that, that's where you plug in USB-C power. And then this little hole in the top, you get this little bracket to hold the USB-C power cable so it doesn't pull out. So you wrap it through that, and I don't have one here to show you, but I have one in the back of my RodeCaster Video on my desk. Next to that is the Ethernet port. This does have wireless built into it, but there are no antennas. If you buy the RodeCaster Video, there's antennas that you can put on, and I have one on my desk. You're going to see it here in a minute. If you buy a RodeCaster Video S, there is no antennas. If you buy the RodeCaster Video, you'll have a little micro SD card you can put in it. But if you buy the RodeCaster Video S or the RodeCaster Video Core, there is no replaceable or pull in and out micro SD card. It has they both have built-in memory, so keep that in mind. Next to that, computer input 1, computer input 2. So that means you can plug 2 different computers into it. That's also the port you're going to be using to have it communicate with the RodeCaster Video Core. Then you have 3 and 4, 4 being mainly webcams and audio devices. And you probably plug in, I think you plug your RodeCaster 2 or your RodeCaster Duo into port number 4 or 5 on the front of the device, so I apologize for that. This is just a USB-C port for firmware updates and such, things like that. I don't think you can use it for another webcam, but you'll have to see. Then you have the only one HDMI out. I have 2 on my RodeCaster Video. You have 3 HDMI inputs. I have 4 on my RodeCaster Video. You have a a 1 and 2 headphone input. I have 2 more inputs on the back of my RodeCaster Video because I have 2 audio out jacks. And you do not have audio out on the RodeCaster Video for room speakers, or RodeCaster Video S or the RodeCaster Video Core. So just to be clear, the RodeCaster Video does have a right and left channel out for room speakers. So you do lose that. You lose an HDMI out. You use a USB-C port, except for in the Core, you got a USB-C port back. So again, we'll have to learn about that. But you do not have the 2 quarter-inch outs for room speakers. You only have the 2 quarter-inch inputs for headphones. There's still outputs, and you could use one of them for room speakers by splitting it. So I guess you could use one of those 2 headphone outs to do that. But usually the audio coming out of the speaker out's a little bit different than what comes out of the headphone out. There's still combo jacks, so you could plug in a quarter-inch like guitar, or you could plug in 2 XLR mics, and you still have 2 wireless receivers built in, so you can use 2 of the wireless microphones by Rode. And most of these connect now, except for the older versions. So that's the back of the device. Let's zoom back out again, and we'll see what else the pictures we have here. So you can see vents on the side. And here's the top. It has just kind of this rib thing. It says RodeCaster Video Core. You can see the knob. And it's supposed to be a 1U rack space. So it should fit on like a Blackmagic design rack shelf. But I don't know. I don't have one. I can't try it, so don't quote me. So there you go. There's the pictures of the RodeCaster Video Core. So now, what is really curious about this
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First,
sorry about that if you heard sound. Try to get a video to come up here. You guys can see it. Let me get out of it real quick so I get this thing working. And you can watch this video later. I'm not going to play it, but Aaron is showing the audio interface, the RodeCaster Video Software that works for the Core, works for the RodeCaster Video S. And this is the audio page. And you can make adjustments to the live mix, just like you're seeing right here. And then a couple seconds later, he is showing you that you can bring in all of these devices on your audio line as well. So now you're interfacing between the RodeCaster Video, and he has a RodeCaster Pro Duo. And so he is able to audio interface between the RodeCaster Video Core and the RodeCaster Pro Duo interfaces. And just so you can see those side by side, here Aaron has them plugged in. You can see in his video, and again, the link is in the description, he's got them plugged in side by side, and it automatically detects the RodeCaster Core. So what Rode's doing is they are integrating these devices that some of us already have. Maybe you have one, maybe you don't. But if you have a RodeCaster Pro 2 or you have a RodeCaster Pro Duo, then you can actually get a Core and have basically a RodeCaster Video S, and it will then integrate. The other interesting thing about this is you can now integrate the buttons. So here Aaron is showing integration between the buttons so that he can go to his different inputs. So there's channel 1 and 2. Here's A and B, which is 2 of his scenes. And then here's 2 of his other buttons. And so you can page over on the RodeCaster Pro 2 and the RodeCaster Pro Duo. So you could develop more than one page, I believe. So now the buttons on the front of a RodeCaster Pro 2, which has 8 buttons, and the RodeCaster Pro Duo, which has 6 buttons, they can now be used to control the RodeCaster Video Core. So why is any of this important, and why are we even talking about it tonight? I really think that what's happening is we're seeing this transition from RodeCaster Pro 2, RodeCaster Pro Duo, to them wanting to add video and not having those of us that already own a RodeCaster Pro 2 and those who have already invested in a RodeCaster Pro Duo to feel like, here it is. Thank you. This is my beloved Shannon right there. Rarely makes a camera appearance. But guess what this is? So we will put a shield around this. I think I have Thor's hammer. No, I don't need Thor's hammer. I need Captain America's shield. So we'll open that. I asked her to bring it in before we go off the air, just to put what's in the past. Or maybe I'm going back in time and opening it for the very first time. Who knows? Could be. So what's going on now is Rode, in my opinion, is really trying to do something that I wanted to say tonight. I appreciate. So Rode, if you're listening, I get it. You're trying to make sure that guys that already have the RodeCaster Pro Duo and want to have the 2 inputs there, as well as the 2 inputs that they could have in a RodeCaster Video S. Why would they need another audio interface built in to their S when they already have an audio interface on their desk? So in my opinion, the Core, thank you, Aaron, and all the other guys, Photo Joseph, that did some incredible videos on this, and evidently Rode sent them the Video Core for them to be a part of the big unboxing event yesterday in their announcement. But in all fairness, this device really does solve a problem, because if I've already spent the money, why do I want to spend the money on a RodeCaster Video S and on a RodeCaster Pro Duo, and when I can just combine the 2 and get the best of both of them? And that's really what I believe the RodeCaster Video Core has done. Now, are they going to come out with a core like the RodeCaster Video? I think they should, for guys like me because I could have 2 microphone inputs on the core, and I could have 4 more that are built into my RODECaster Pro 2. You can also bring in the call guests as audio sources now. So let's go ahead and open up this software, and then we'll take some comments from y'all. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so let's just show you this. So I knew when I opened up this software the first time, it's going to say a new version of RODECaster app is available to download. I'm not going to skip this. I'm going to go ahead and download this, and then I'll cut back to this camera, because in reality, that is the update that's going to let people be able to interface between the 2 devices. So we go back. Now it's asking me to approve it. So in a second here, it's going to approve me downloading it. So once that's downloaded and updated, if I had a RodeCaster Video Core in my studio, then the 2 are going to integrate. Right now, I'm waiting for one of my backup hard drives to spin up for whatever reason. And if this doesn't start here in 2 seconds, I'm going to cancel this update. Where's the deal? Okay. I accept. Next. Next. Install. It is installing now. Yes. Gave you approval. So while that's updating, what I wanted to really conversate about tonight is to quote Photo Joseph, and I do like what he has to say, and I love his feedback. We're going to hit finish here now. Launch RODECaster app. That's what it's called, RODECaster app. I'm going to close Camera Hub for a second. I'm going to double click on my RODECaster right here. Oh, and it says it has a firmware. So let's go ahead and do the firmware. Let's update them both. Oh, I probably shouldn't have done the RODECaster Pro 2. This is not good. You guys are going to lose my audio. check. I can't believe I did that. I can't. To be honest with you, I can't. But I'm going to go ahead and hit update the RODECaster Video. I'm not using the audio in the RODECaster Video, so I'm going to go ahead and hit. Might as well. I mean, even Joe is saying nice things out there in the world of, yeah. So I apologize. I should have never hit that update. I don't know what I was thinking. It lost my mind. I apologize, because I'm using my RODECaster for audio, and when you update the firmware, you lose audio when you're live. So that's not something you want to update. Man, there is a lot of chatter. Maybe you should stick to pillow reviews. Well, thank you, Joe. At least you broke it with your own, broke it with their own product. I think there's a good social media video. Our cameras are so tough, they break our switchers. Is there a safety case for the Yellow? Yeah, there is a case. In fact, they were going to send me one, but they didn't have any left in their US distribution. So they're sending me a screen protector, and it's the official one. So I'm not taking that YOLO box out of the box until I have a screen protector. But I wish I had a actual case. September 22nd, 2020. Glenn says he would go back. I'm not sure why. If you'd like to share with us, Glenn, that would be great. Gary, hi, Keith. Hi, everyone. It's good to have you. Jurist Design. Gary, 70s, take my football shot. Could kick a soccer ball 75 yards as a kid, 14. Yeah, you should have been a professional soccer player or football player. I got a Bamboo 2. Okay. Bamboo 2 printer. Lotion, laugh out loud. Yeah, well, my hands were sticky. Business growth ready. Welcome. It's everybody except for ones that didn't. That's a 2000. That's a 2000 camera mount. Should have a manual lock as well. Yeah, exactly. My best time working was in the late 90s at Delta Radio as a presenter. Wow, cool. Those were the days when radio was truly free to do whatever you wanted. Yeah, it reminds me of that Robin Williams, Good Morning Vietnam, where he said whatever he wanted. I was also the first to install a webcam in the studio. Those were the very beginnings of the webcams. Yeah, and I did a short yesterday on my Facebook channel, basically saying if 2019 was the year of the switcher, you guys can still see me. I lost my monitors because I'm feeding them through my RODECaster Video. So radio could say whatever they wanted, and now they can't. So I totally agree with that. RODECaster Video is rebooting, and I'll show you guys the software. Gary, old school way, 30 yards of duct tape won't fall down. Yeah, I should put some duct tape on there. I wonder if you can now fit it into a one. Well, Aaron and Joe, Photo Joseph said it's a 1U space device. They measured it. So if you watch Photo Joseph's video, which is in the link below, you can check out what he said. No one's demoed it I've seen yet in a rack, but Photo Joseph said it's 1 rack tall. Good to have you back, Tony. So no sign language or closed captions. Laugh out loud. Poor Keith with no audio. Well, that's what happens when you do a firmware update on your RODECaster Pro Live, and you can see they're both done now. So take that, Rode. Keep your memory safe. Cancel this for right now. Okay. So here's the software. Let me take chat off the air real quick, and I'll catch up. So you got the scene builder. So you're going to be able to integrate, and you can see I have a camera on. I was going to let you know that I did have the beta sent over to me. So I'm now using the the Osbot Tiny 3 through the UVC to HDMI adapter into my RODECaster Video HDMI in, and because of a beta firmware they sent me, I guess I'm the only one that has this. So beta firmware for the Tiny 3 and beta firmware for the UVC to HDMI adapter version 2 and the Tiny 2 remote. I was able to plug in the USB dongle and finally get it working so I can control the camera, which is really cool. It's only 1080p because that's all the RODECaster Video gives you. So that's what you're seeing, but I can zoom in, I can zoom out. I've got some saved locations. So there's one, and there's one. And so I can actually do the tracking mode. So now it's going to track me everywhere I go. I can do hand mode. And now it's going to follow my hand. I can actually do the desk mode. So now it's showing down here. Turn the desk mode back off. So that is going through my RODECaster Video, which is what you guys are seeing in the software. So you'll be able to now use the buttons on your RODECaster Pro 2 or your RODECaster Pro Duo to control all this, and you can still go in and program scenes in the software. You can run the RODECaster Video Core from the software. You're going to have less buttons. The Core does not have this many buttons, as you can see. I don't have a RODECaster Video S or RODECaster Core to show you, but they have less inputs and they have less scenes and less different videos that you can load. This is my videos. This is where you bring different things in onto the buttons. So you can turn videos on and off. You can turn overlays on and off. And so again, you can create scenes. You can bring in your video. You can do keys. I'm not going to demo the software tonight, but here's where you'd bring in all the different video inputs. And so I have as many as you can have right now, but if I had a Core plugged into this, I could bring in all of the Core audio or the RODECaster Pro 2 audio. I still think there's a limit to how many channels you can have, but you can do the live mix and then you can actually do a import and control all the audio things. You can use the audio follows video. So you can use the microphones from your RODECaster Pro 2 or your RODECaster Pro Duo now in the RODECaster Video Core. So this Core is a pretty cool, interesting device. And again, I have linked this page to you in the description. I have linked Photo Joseph's video in the description. I have linked Aaron Parecki's video in the description so that you guys can go watch those later. But I really do think the RODECaster Video Core is something that they should take to the RODECaster Video level. So there should be one that has the same amount of inputs and outputs as the RODECaster Video, because I like the 2 HDMI outs. So it's really cool. And the fact that it does NDI out, does NDI in. You can bring some sources of NDI in. I really, really like the RODECaster Video. We're gonna use it more here in the weeks to come in the live stream. So again, the software is going to be integratable, and if you have a laptop and you don't care about the buttons on the top of your RODECaster Video, RODECaster Video S, hopefully they'll come out with a Core for the RODECaster Video. But if you have a RODECaster Pro 2 or RODECaster Pro Duo, you can now integrate it with the RODECaster Video Core, and you still get the extra 2 XLR inputs inside the Core. Lots of things happen by combining these two devices. And again, when you combine them, they're more powerful than they are separate. So you really are getting the power of both your devices combined, especially now that you can bring the talking guests into your RODECaster Video Core. There's no video, but you could bring in a guest vocally into your RODECaster Video Core now in a live stream. Okay, let's continue to find out what I missed in the chat. Gaff tape, yeah, gaff tape would have been great. Bulls Promo TV, Wayne from Australia, it's good to have you. Might now get a screen protector for yours. Yeah, let me just say this. Unless you want to play this game right here, that's the crack in my original YOLO Box Extreme that was on loan. And so unless you want to play I would go back in time to this time, then you want to have some kind of screen protector when you are messing with these devices. Now remember, these overhead cameras could fall down and break the LCD screen on the RodeCaster Video, even though it's tiny. And I think I can show that. Let me get out of that view. Let's see, 4, I believe. Let's cut to 4. Let's cut to exterior 2. Is it 6? Cut. Yeah. So here is, let's be very careful with this. Let's cut to this mic. And let's adjust this down very carefully. Nothing dropping. So that is the YOLOcam S3 shooting down at my desk. And here is let me turn my logo off here. What happened to my control software? Seriously, why is that closing down? Must have closed down on that reboot. So there you go. That's my RodeCaster Video. I paid for this with my own money, and I have a YOLOcam S3 hanging precariously over it. So you want to be really careful. And you can see I have lots of things plugged in because I've been testing. I've been playing with this, but I brought in on channel 6 the YOLOcam S3 through USB-C port 5. And then you just have to go over to the inspector, hit 6, and then choose USB 5 right there, and then hit enter. And then if I hit details, it'll tell me it's 1920 1080p, 30 frames per second. I know you can't see that very big, but I cannot zoom right now on the YOLOcam S3. That's why I really like this controller for the Osbot Tiny 3, because I can cut to that. That is, let's see, let's get out of the inspector. So confused right now. Yeah, but why are you guys not seeing that? Oh, sorry. There you go. So I can zoom in and out with this. So I'm really liking this camera with the HDMI UVC to HDMI adapter. You guys can see this. I have the Osbot Tiny 3 up there. And I released my Tiny 3 video day before yesterday on Sunday. So you guys can go check that out. But I can pan around and use this remote. And that's the picture going through the UVC to HDMI device. It looks okay. I'm a little overexposed. I can save new settings and plug it back in. I just hooked it up today to make sure that it was working. And so that's going through my RodeCaster video into my ATEM Extreme ISO so that I can show you guys that. And I could actually put it in a super source. So I could go to me and my laptop and I could change what's in box 2 to Extreme 2. And so there, now you are side by side with the Osbot, which is going to become, now again, I'm a fan of 3 gimbal cameras. And let's just bounce back. No. So this has this gimbal this way, has a gimbal this way, and has a gimbal this way. So this camera could be mounted on top, and you know, it's still, when you pan right and left, it still has to kind of, you know, level itself. But that's what's really nice. Like if you have a DJI drone and you're flying through the sky, you can pan right and left and it stays level. That's not true with a 2 gimbal camera. If you keep it level and you go right and left, it's level. And if you go up and down, but as soon as you tilt it and you pan right and left, it's not longer level. So if you're listening, Osbot, if you're listening, Insta360 Link, and if you are gonna build a gimbal camera, YOLO cam like you teased, the P7, go for 3 gimbals. Don't waste your time with 2. Just price it accordingly. I know that Tail Air has a built-in gimbal inside the device, so the whole lens system flips over portrait. But we need a 3 gimbal camera so we can put webcams up inside our studio, and they don't have to be perfectly level. And that's why I love the Insta360 Link version 1. And this is 2 versions ago. They got rid of the 3rd gimbal when they went to the Insta360 Link 2 and the new 2 Pro. And this is the new 2 Pro right here. And my Skycam right here. That camera right here is the Insta360 Link 2, version 2, and that's my Skycam. And with that Skycam, I can bust around the room to different locations, even show you guys down on my desk. And that's the Insta360 Link 2. And I have it pretty level because if it's not level, then it's not going to, if I pan right and left, it's going to look funky. So I have it as level as I can get it up there. And it's just pointing down on me right now. So if I turn and go over to the shelf, it's pretty level, as you can see, but there is no gimbal built in to that camera to do stabilization like this. And that, I think, is a big deal. That's just my personal opinion, but it is my opinion. Chat on the air. Okay, I'm so far behind. Glenn, thought I would always like some duct tape for sticky situations. Let me get chat back on the air, sorry. Good morning, Tim. It's good to have you from Melbourne down under. Cloudy day today. Well, good for you. Checking out our live stream, and good for us for having you. What a lack in coordination. You make up for good looks, whatever. A cracked screen. What happened? Yeah, that's the story. So just because I really am a huge Tony fan, there's the cracked screen. A long time ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I was getting ready for a Tuesday night live stream, and I adjusted my YOLOcam S3 on the magnet mount, and suddenly, as I turned around, it fell from the sky and bounced off of my desk onto the floor. Little did I know, after I put it back up, Tony, I turned my borrowed YOLObox Extreme, a $2,000 device, on loan on, and it just flickered. I had destroyed it. That's why tonight I'm talking about going back in time would be great, because I would go back in time and not put the YOLOcam S3 on top of my borrowed YOLObox Extreme. Now I have a new one that just came today. The other one's getting shipped from the United States to China to be repaired. We'll see. He dropped the YOLOcam on the screen. Well, there you go, Joe. Ouch. They sent him a new one. Ouch. The zoom is handy. Yeah, it is. And he said it was the worse than shattering his ankle. I didn't say that. Got it. Now I got the theme of the stream. We've all caught up. It is 6:35. We're all on the same page. If we came early, we came late. And obviously, so moral of the story, right? We can put our clocks forward. We can put our clocks back. But we do not have the technology that I know of yet to turn back time. But we can sure want to. Now, I can tell you that this is on my want list. Now, I have it in my hands, but it doesn't belong to me. This is the power. I think this is the power. Let's look what's in this box. Yeah, I remember now. Power supplies with different ends from different countries. But a shout out to YOLO Live for sending me another one. They've been very gracious. I wasn't done making videos. I wanted to cover live streaming from this. So, so they were gracious to send me another one. And they trust me so well. They sent me a screen protector. Anyway. I felt like this shock go through my system, Tony. Literally, like I wanted to jump out of my skin when I looked down and saw that screen flickering and realized that it wasn't working. And when I saw the broken screen, when I saw this and looked down and saw that crack, and it's really hard because the screen was flickering. And that's the lower right-hand side. I mean, it barely hit it. You can see where it hit. It's less than an inch away from the edge. It was so close. It could have just cut me some slack. But it didn't cut me any slack at all. So the RodeCaster Video Core has been officially released. It's $599. The RodeCaster Video S is $799. And for whatever reason, for $814, you can buy a RodeCaster Video right now. So if you want one, you better get one. And use the link in the description because it'll help support the channel. But they have it the same price. I think it's probably B&H selling it on Amazon because it's exactly the same price. I don't know how many they have at that. But I guarantee you the price is going to go up because the retail price of that device, as I have showed you guys earlier, and I'll show you again, here's the prices. $599 for the core, and it's basically a non-button version of the RodeCaster Video S, which is $799. So that's what you pay for buttons. And then RodeCaster Video is going to be $1199. That's very, very expensive. And I would jump at the opportunity to not pay that kind of money. Now, shout out to the Osbot Tiny 3, because on the bottom of it, it has this screw mount. So when I put it above my head, I don't need to use the little magnet holder. In fact, right now, where is that? I am using it with no magnet holder. You can see it's right there, the edge of it. And it is screwed in. So it is not falling off of there. And to be honest with you, I don't remember what I did with the magnet mount. So be very careful if you're going to use any of these cameras that are magnetically attached, because you could, they could come off and damage things on your desktop. So, yeah, it's not a good day. So I caught you up, and you're welcome. It's 5:35 though. Yeah. Is it? I'm confused. Is it daylight savings time, 5:35? Is it United States time, 5:30? UK time? Hawaii time? Navajo? Yeah. I'm confused. Missed 1 o'clock, laugh out loud. Sent you a screen protector, LLL. I bet you must have been devastated. Too bad there wasn't a camera recording your facial reactions. Yeah, you would have liked to see that. No, you wouldn't have. It was sheer terror. I mean, I'm a decent actor. I've done some acting throughout my life. I really secretly wanted to be an actor. And so I could pretend like I know what that face was. But I looked down, and when it dawned on me, I felt like 1,000 volts of electricity went through my body. That's all I can say. So I gathered myself. I had, I'm learning some things. I'm older now. I'm a little wiser now. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I was able to talk myself off of whatever roof I was climbing on. Joe, I don't know. I hope you're proud of yourself. Huh. Well, yeah, this is me speechless. Rode, be nice. Send me a RodeCaster Video Core. Maybe they'll be nicer to me when I get my RodeCaster Video series done. So, well, the poll really does apply tonight, so please answer it. If you could turn back time, would you? Question mark. If yes, what point in time? I've got 18 votes. Only 61% of you said if you could turn back time, you would. I understand you want me to have a show on what would you like to go forward in time so you could find out what the lottery numbers are. Nope, that's not an option. It's my show. It is, what if you could turn back time? Where would you go? If yes, where would you go? Please put it in the chat. If you gave no, don't give me any where I don't want to go. Only if you said yes, you put it in the chat. I would love to read where you would go. And you might want to tell us why as well. In Germany and parts of Europe, the clocks will be only changed on March 29th, but that will be the last time. After that, the time will remain as is. So it's the last time, man, they've had enough. So March 29th is it. You know I love you. Yeah, that's not me saying that. That's me. That's me reading the text. Hey, listen. Joe sent me monitors. So I have a monitor there, and a monitor there. All three of those monitors came from Joe. So if you wonder why Joe gets away with what he gets away with in my shows, now you know. Why, Joe? So if there's a topic that you want me to cover in the live streams, I know I haven't talked about the ATEMs in a while, and I was brainstorming earlier today. I do a lot of consulting, and that's part of the challenge was the money that I had made by doing my Black Friday sale, because I knew going into 2026, and I told Shannon this, rather than just rest in December and January, I told her, I could probably earn some money to be able to get some of these devices in the studio because I'd like to do more videos. I already had spent the money on the RodeCaster Video S. I bought it as a return from B&H. I think I paid $915, so it's kind of irritating that you can buy one for $814. I thought I got a good deal, but you can get a better deal than that. So all of the money that I had raised doing my Black Friday sale, and the work I had done. That added up to less than what one Extreme Biolo box costs. And all I could see was, you gotta be kidding me. It's February again, and I feel like I broke my ankle again. I'm set back, and I'm handicapped. So let me just reiterate, a year ago Friday, not this coming Friday, last Friday, I had major surgery on my ankle. I'm now able to walk up and down stairs. I actually went to a movie with Shannon a couple days ago and didn't feel any pain going up and down the stairs at the theater, which was unusual because I have every time I've gone, and they're kind of weird steps. So they're wide, and so you're kind of doing this weird step when you go over them. So that's the good news. And I was kind of looking for a non-eventful February, but no, it had to end with a crash. And guess what? Literally, it was within days of when I slipped and fell and broke my ankle. So now again, the money that was invested in getting surgery and all of that, which thank God my insurance covered all but my deductible. Thank God again, it was thousands of dollars. I don't have insurance on your YOLO box. So now we know your price. You should ask for more. Always ask for more. You know my price. Hey, Glenn, you can get a free 1-hour consult on Zoom. It's free. Just to chat tech. See if I can help you with anything. If you think there's anything I could help you with. Anybody else out there? But in my consulting game, I spent a lot of time on some of these products. So again, if you want me to do any videos on the RODECaster, on any of the webcams I have in here, Mix Effect, ATEM Extreme, ATEM Mini Pro, the HybridX, anything that you can't find on my channel that you would like me to do a video on, please say something in my videos, in the comments, or in the chat, and I would be happy to either cover it on a Tuesday or cover it in a video. I can say this, it's a lot easier to cover it in a video. Okay, we're up to 61% of you. I'm going to end the poll. I have 18 votes. 61% of you said yes. So I'd like to know what part of the world or where you would go back in time or what the date is. If you would put that in the chat if you said yes. So I'm officially ending that poll tonight. No more free consults. Got to pay for the YOLO box. You should do a show on gear insurance. Yeah, you guys are cracking yourself up tonight. It was painful. Show some respect. Have some sympathy, empathy. We can't. We got him on the ropes. Ooh. David, help me here. Are you still listening, David, from Australia? Okay, let's close the show tonight. NAB is coming up. It's just around the corner. What do you think is going to be announced at NAB next week? That's what one of the topics is going to be. What do you think is going to be announced at NAB? The core has already been announced by Rode. What is Blackmagic Design going to announce? Are we ever going to figure out how to use the Thunderbolt ports of the ATEM Extreme G2 so that we can actually do fill and key and animated graphics from things like OBS and different software like that, not just DaVinci Resolve? So are they going to fix the desk software so that we can enable those two inputs? What do you think other manufacturers are going to announce? Are we going to hear anything from all the other manufacturers? Are we going to hear anything from Hollyland? Are we going to hear anything from Great Video Maker? Are we going to hear anything from all the other video switchers? Is YOLO Live going to announce something new? Let me know what you guys think we're going to hear about. When was Bitcoin released? That's my date. Yeah, there you go. back in time to buy some Bitcoin. As long as you can come back, I guess if you went back and bought Bitcoin, yeah, you could buy some Apple stock. You could go get a job for Bill Gates and try to have gotten some stock, could be a multimillionaire. Go work for Mr. Beast. I'm glad I cracked you up tonight, Joe. You got Tony laughing in the background. Magewell 4-way switcher all in. Yeah, Aaron Preki talks about Magewell. I know they have some great devices. I need to probably drink some of the Magewell Kool-Aid. You win some, you lose some. Yeah, I'm not really excited about NVIDIA. I think it's overrated. They're stealing all of our, AI technology, stealing all our memory. It's driving prices up. I don't have my money saved up for a laptop yet because there's a pending bill coming. So I may not be able to buy my dream laptop. Are you sure you're not covering for Ratso? He lurks around the studio. Ratso could have knocked it down, but listen, Ratso's got a bunch of fans now. If something happened to Ratso, I might be at risk. My grandkids, my kids, my clients, my live stream audience. Yeah, I don't know. It could have been Ratso. I was answering a question. Yeah. NAB, Magewell 4K. So does that mean that you already know the Magewell 4K is being announced, or is that your guess? Let me know. Anybody else want to chime in? I'm curious. I could go. I do have some money saved for a ticket. I have a client of mine that would let me stay with him. I've already told him I'm not coming, but I don't know. I might need to go to NAB. I might need some NAB therapy. Yeah. It's a guess. Yeah. I think we're all guessing. I don't think we know. Oh, man. You just, yeah. Are you cooking dinner tonight, Joe? You go to NAB. You go and meet me at NAB. You get Tony and you get TVJ, and let's go hang out at NAB. Then maybe I'll go. Let's go, Joe. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's go hang out. Let's skip B&H in New York City and let's go to NAB in Las Vegas. Do you think the days of hoping for 4K switchers in an ATEM mini line are over? I don't know that, Tony, that you're going to see a 4K switcher like the ATEM minis on the desk. And the theory is that there's just so much heat and so much that goes into those devices. And that's why you saw the bigger console that came out, but it didn't have ISO recording. So you get an HD console that does ISO recording and coding, which was a really cool device, too big for our desks, right? I don't want that big thing on my desk. But for a small venue, then you get the G2, which was not 4K. So they're trying to give you nicer buttons and transition bars, 2 more channels with the Thunderbolt 9 and 10 assignable to Thunderbolt, or it could be assigned to the media player 1 and 2. But I don't know that we're going to get 4K. They seem to be only rack mounted devices. They seem to never ISO record. They seem to never encode. But what they do is they come out with a console that does do 4K, has built-in streaming bridges, but it doesn't ISO record. So you still got to run it through another device, which just doesn't make any sense. That's why I like what Rode's doing. Giving you a video core and letting you use your RodeCaster Pro 2 and your RodeCaster Pro Duo. I think, you know, there's one Australian company kicking the butt of another Australian company. How do you like that, Dave? Australia, go. I want to go to Australia and see these two factories. NAB is always worth it. Tony would love to go. Vegas, baby. Glenn, you coming? But if we do NAB New York, we can do both NAB and B&H. Yeah, but NAB number 1, NAB number 2 in New York. Yeah, it's already after the fact. They don't wait, I don't think, to make their announcements. Like Rode's not waiting to even get to NAB. They were at CES showing off the core. So I get it. Be nice to see Jenna in New York go up to that floor overlooking the cityscape of New York City where she works, and that would be cool. And then go to B&H, spend way too much money. Joe, bring your credit cards. We're going to need them. Tony and I are going to need them. So much heat because processing resolution is exceptional in terms of power. Absolutely agree. If we go to NAB together, that would be great. Laugh out loud, go Aussie. Stay at my place. Bowles Promo TV. Are you in Las Vegas? Wow. Invitation. You're not going to bury us in your backyard, are you? I'm just kidding. Did I say that out loud? No, I didn't say it out loud. FYI, that's the RODECaster Pro multi-view. This is the ATEM Extreme ISO multi-view. My camera's adjusting, and I am not recording. So this one's on YouTube. That's it. There's nothing about tonight that I wanted to keep in my archives. Well, you know, I got you, I've got David in Australia. I'd love to figure out how I could do some camping with David in Australia, and I'd love to come. Australia, man, to me is a fascinating place. So, yeah, Parker's Trail from Gold Rush went to Australia to look for gold a couple years back. I totally enjoyed watching them go around different parts of Australia and look for gold. So it's a very fascinating. So Rick's good to see you tonight. Just noticed that you popped in. I did a lot of ranting, so you didn't miss much. But I can tell you that we went back in time. Look at this. YOLO Live sent me a YOLO Box Extreme. Yes, they did. Now it's on loan, but we went back in time. We're going to unbox this. Not tonight. Feels like I already unboxed one of those live, but I can't seem to remember. You have to go back and watch my little If We Could Turn Back Time episode tonight. Got to fix that macro. So that's all I have tonight. But I can say that you guys having the patience to listen to me tell my story, I really would like to know if you would have a spot in time, if you haven't answered that question, that you'd like to go back to. Qualifications, you can take all your knowledge and your wisdom and go back in time. But is there a moment in time that something happened that you would like to go back in time and erase or fix or whatever? So an email you sent that you wish you could go back and delete it before you hit send. A girl you didn't ask out, you single guy you didn't ask out, you single women, I don't know. A friend you lost, a YOLO Cam S3 that came falling out of the sky. Is there a place and a time that you would love to go back to? I even texted a couple of my friends today asking that question. If you could go back in time, is there any one place or one point in time that you would go back, and why? Because of this whole daylight savings time, I thought it was appropriate. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap the show up. It is 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, depending on where you're from. Thank you so much for joining me live. Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you would. Why is my subscribe button not working? Man, why? I've been good. I've been nice. Is my stinger working? Won't play, huh? There it goes. My stinger played. There we go. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please like the video tonight. I really appreciate it. Helps the algorithm. In the outro, I hit a little message, so make sure you watch the outro tonight. You only have to watch the first half. There's no hidden messages at the end, no Easter eggs, but I am going to start hiding some Easter eggs at the end of my outro for those people that want to see them. But I just want to say thank you so much for joining me live. It does mean a lot to me. It was very therapeutic tonight I didn't get a tax laugh out loud. No, I didn't send this to you, Tony. I should send it to you, but you can put your idea of where you would go back in time. So again, my new videos are out. So the Yellow Box Extreme video is out. I'll be doing a few more on the new one after I get it out of the box and put the screen protector on it. And also I have my new OSBOT Tiny 3. It's an incredibly cool camera. It's got more features than you can even imagine. And again, I had it in the studio tonight. This is it right here, keeping an eye on me. And I even got a new beta version of for the camera and for the remote and the UVC HDMI adapter, so I can turn on tracking. And now this camera is going to track me. So anyway, pretty cool to have a video out on the OSBOT Tiny 3. So if you'd like to know more about that camera, check it out. Until next week, I am Keith. This is Life Journey Productions, and I hope to see you all in the next video. I'm out.